Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mila as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mila.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am your host, Marco Mila. I am joined, as always, by our co-host. Say hello, Mila.
Hello.
There she is. So today we're doing our bonus episode. This is for our What If, episode 7.
Yes.
What if Thor was an only child?
That was a great episode.
That was a great episode, was it not? I mean, that was amazing. I'm almost one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
Yeah.
Simply because it was obviously meant to be the most fun episode.
Yeah.
It was all
Yeah.
lighthearted.
That's what
There was
I read.
no real death or consequences or anything like that.
Yeah, when I was watching it, it reminded me of the Black Panther episode where he's Star-Lord.
Yep.
But it
Just a
was
fun
just
episode.
it was like it was almost done like, I don't know, in my opinion, just better.
Yes.
Because it was actual, like the other one, it had some humorous moments, but it was also like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
But
definitely
this
the most
was
fun.
Yeah, this was so much fun to watch. It was really
meant
fun.
To be, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, it was just meant to be like a lighthearted, no real consequences.
Right.
Just let's have some fun and rock out, and Thor just partying.
Yeah,
all
not
over.
thinking like it's like a not, you don't have to think too hard
Yes.
kind of episode, which I very much appreciate.
Me too. So I want to start off with some rant facts, or some fact rants, if you want, however you want to call them.
Rant
and we're
facts.
deciding what we're going to call that. I think we're going to call them fact rants.
Fact rants.
Maybe rant facts. I haven't decided yet.
We'll see. We'll
take
see.
that offline and discuss it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is episode 7. The voices. Let's kind of cover the voices of who's doing this one, because it's kind of always, some people are the original actors, some people are not. So you have
Right.
Jeffrey Wright, of course, has been the Watcher. Chris
Yep.
Hemsworth was Thor. Natalie Portman was Jane Foster.
Oh, really?
Tom Hiddleston's Loki. Kat
Yeah.
Dennings obviously is Darcy. Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury. Jeff Goldman did do the Grandmaster.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Colby Smulders was Maria Hill. Clark Gregg did Agent Coulson again. Frank
Yep.
Grillo did Brock Rumlow. And Taika Waititi did Korg again. Karen Gillan was Nebula. And Jamie Alexander was Lady Sif. And then Seth Green was Howard the Duck.
Right.
Beyond that, we have a lot of Alexander Daniels played Captain Marvel. So there's a lot of, and Josette Eels played Frigga, not played by originally. You know what I'm saying? So we have
Yeah.
a lot of different voice actors after that. Yeah. Clancy Brown did Surtur, Disorder, the devil one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. The one you were asking, like, is that from Ragnarok?
I'm
Yes,
like,
that
that's
was
the
from
Ragnarok
yes.
guy that shows up. Right.
So this is episode 7. According to IMDb, there are 2 more. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Even though we'll get to the ending, so I thought the
And it
next one
looks
was going to
like-
be at the ending. Was supposed to be the ending, but maybe it's going to be a 2-parter. But we'll talk about that.
After the end of this one, I have a feeling what
Right.
the ending is going to look like.
Yeah, so let's break down the episode. It starts off obviously with the Watcher describing what's going on. You get a little backstory as what happens if Loki does not get adopted, basically, or raised
Yeah.
by Odin.
Yeah, and
right?
they
He gets
instead they
back
just
to the-
like give him back to his parents.
Yeah, basically, right? He gives them back to his people. So, what happens after that? So, because he's not part of Thor's life, they don't grow up as brothers, there's not that contrast with each other to sort of make each other better.
Yeah.
And Loki's mission
like who
kind
can
of
be
helps.
better than
Right,
the other.
Exactly. Who can be a better, Thor, who can be a better king, who can be a better leader.
Yeah.
Thor just kind of goes off on the tangent of what I think a lot of people do whose,
Yep.
parents are in power.
Yeah,
They
or
kinda
those
just go
like
about
only
whatever they wanna
the
do.
only child kind of thing too.
Only
where it's
child.
like there's not a lot of like trying to one up the other.
Right, but remember, only child. Dad's a god. He's Odin. He's the
Yeah.
god of gods.
Which
basically.
means you can do basically
You can do
anything.
anything. So you
That's
have
like
that
my
sort of-
dad's a cop.
My dad, exactly right.
Or
I've
my
known
dad's
a
the
lot
principal
of
of the
people whose
school.
parents are
You
judges.
get away
and
with
things like that.
everything.
Oh yeah, all the time. So then they kind of go rogue because my parents get me out of it. I don't have to deal with it, and they also kind of fight against it. It's funny. Amy and I were just talking about this the other day that can happen because people. Sometimes it's over. You get oversaturated with this is the law, this is the way it's supposed to be. So you fight and go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Whereas dad's God, he's the Odin, right? So he's just like, all right, well, you're gonna be in charge and make sure you're ruling. I'm gonna go have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
exactly,
cause mischief
yeah.
and do whatever. So that's basically what happens. And Thor is basically going around apparently different realms and different planets and kind of
partying so hard
that
that,
he blew
the
up
planet
one.
explodes.
Yeah. So it seems like, so then of course he hits Earth, and you cracked up when they were basically like, he's like, okay, let's go to the planet that is, basically the lowest common denominator.
The most backwater planet.
Yeah,
and then they end up on Earth, and I'm like, oh
of course
yeah,
they mean Earth.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was great,
especially at Vegas.
Yeah, and of course then they go to Vegas. I mean, like
Midgard,
the low,
the
right?
backwater
we love Vegas,
planet.
but it's Party Central, so of course the party man's going to go to Party Central, which is Vegas.
Of course.
So that's what happens basically.
Yeah,
he's going around the Earth. He does meet Jane anyway.
Yep.
So he does meet Jane Foster, and of course Kat Dennings' character is still there.
I love that. I love Darcy's character. I always love Darcy's character and everything she's in.
I appreciate her in WandaVision. Hopefully she and the other agent there is going to get a show. That's the rumblings. Like she and the other agent that was part of the
Maria Hill.
No, the FBI guy. What's his name?
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, the Asian actor. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't remember.
He was in Ant-Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They'd be such a pair. Yeah, they'd be such a pair. That'd be such a good show.
There's talks about them having their own sort of spin-off.
I hope they get a spin-off. That's
that would be
gold.
Really cool. So anyway, back to the episode. So he's jumping around the Earth, finding different pockets in different areas, and not just Vegas. And everybody
going to
shows
France
up.
because he has a feeling for crepes.
Yes. My favorite part is that everybody just starts showing up. Right?
Yeah,
The Grand
everybody,
Master's there,
all the Guardian,
Loki, who now looks like one of their people. Right,
that was really cool that they actually had him like looking like a
one of the frost giants.
So but he still had the like horn.
He still had the horns, but
crown.
made out of ice.
Yep.
Which was a great touch on that.
It was so funny. Like, oh my gosh, there's Loki, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's up, my brother from another mother? And you're like, what?
That was really awesome.
Like when they're actually brothers, they're like awful, and then when they're like, hey, brother from another mother, it's like they're so
like
chill.
Best friends.
It's so funny,
right? Because they didn't grow up together,
Yeah.
Punching each other in the arm, annoying each other. So
turned into a snake, and he bit me.
Right.
You were 5.
So that was fun. You have all the cast of characters are coming up. The Guardians. Drax is there and ends up throwing up on Thor's cape.
Yeah, Rocket shows up eventually, and Thor still calls him a rabbit. Like in the background, he's like, "There's a rabbit in the sink."
One of my favorite touches was Howard the Duck and Darcy get married.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
was hysterical.
I love that. That was
Mrs.
golden.
Mrs. the Duck.
Mrs. the Duck.
Yeah, so that was great. So basically, Shield is there. They're figuring out this is becoming a problem. Yeah. It's basically Earth's first contact with an alien species.
Yeah,
right? They didn't know anything about this,
or at least like the people of Earth's first contact with the alien species.
So they're obviously worried that Thor's now starting to break the planet, doing all kinds of mischievous things,
like knocking down Stonehenge like they're dominoes, and
so they call
pretending the St. Louis arcs.
The Arches is a
slingshot.
Yep. So now they realize that they need to call in the big guns because they don't have Avengers. This is all pre-Avengers. Thor doesn't come down. They don't start the Avengers.
Right.
We don't see a lot of the other characters. There's no Tony Stark. There's no Captain Rogers. That was kind of a weird none of them were in there, even if they're not Avengers.
Yeah, that was interesting how that there's because usually the Avengers show up no matter what. Like someone shows up eventually. Yep. Like even if it's like in the corner somewhere.
So there's a few missteps in this episode that they're kind of like bugging people, myself included. Yeah. One, again, there's no Avengers now. Even if Thor's not there,
that doesn't make sense. That like none of them showed up. They
still would have put something together, but
like the Hulk or something.
We understand that the threat isn't there from Loki. The threat of Loki coming down with the Chitauri coming down to invade Earth, that's not there.
Right. So Loki they don't really have a need at the moment.
Other things would have happened. The Tesseract was prior to, right? That still would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Still would have had the Tesseract.
Thor, not Thor. Thanos would still be after it.
Exactly.
No matter what. So the Chitauri probably would have been there with or without Loki, maybe.
Right, because part of it is... The whole concept of the show is that one minor thing changes the situation, but everything else kind of remains the same.
Yeah.
Everything else should have happened the way it happened. We saw on the prime timeline, basically, right? So, in some respects, some part of the Avengers, at least Iron Man, would have still been Iron Man.
Yeah.
They still would have found
the Hulk
Captain
still
America.
would have been the Hulk.
Right. The Hulk.
I mean, Captain America may or may not have been still in the ice, though. I don't know. That probably would have still the same.
They found him, right? Because they were looking. They found the Tesseract and they found him. So that still would have happened. They might not have put together the Avengers team.
Could have even had like Hawkeye or Scarlet. No, not Scarlet.
Yeah, Black Widow and Hawkeye were still part of S.H.I.E.L.D. They were still all that stuff would have still happened because that didn't happen after Avengers. That happened prior to. So that's kind of an issue. Like that stuff never happened. So yes, Thor was a part of the team, but where's the team?
I don't know if I'm like remembering wrong. What was the reason in the first place to like make the Avengers?
Loki.
Okay, so it was Loki. Okay, I thought they were just like conveniently. Oh look, suddenly there's something that we just got our Avengers together. Oh look, something to fight.
It wasn't just Loki. It was because of Thor arrived. Right, Thor arrived on the planet, so they started to put together the team, because that's when Nick Fury says, we realize that we are undermatched, we're outgunned, because he comes down with the the big metal.
Although if you remember he
comes down with him, and that they cause the problem out in the desert and everything like that. So that's why he starts to put together the team.
Yeah. Although if you do remember in the Incredible Hulk, at the end, like the end credit scene, they're looking for the Hulk already, and there's no talk of Loki or anything like that.
No, because it was
so
Thor.
They might have just.
It wasn't actually Loki. I'm going to correct myself. It wasn't Loki was the problem.
Yeah.
It was Thor was the problem, because the hammer comes down.
Yeah.
And they realized that when Thor did his whole thing in Thor 1, and the big was the Eliminator. I forget what the name of the machine is.
Oh, the
exterminator guy, the big metal guy,
the big metal guy with the laser coming out of his face. Yeah.
Because that's when Fury realizes that Earth is outmatched. They have no way of defending ourselves.
Yeah.
So they start to put together the super team.
Yeah.
And that's when they go looking for the Hulk. They start looking for everybody. Yeah. But because Thor, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So
Thor doesn't come down. He's not coming to Earth. But now let's go into the second part of the problem. Is Mjolnir. Mjolnir is imbued by Odin to only be able to pick up by somebody who is worthy. That happens in Thor after he sends Thor to Earth. Yeah. And then he sends down Mjolnir, and that's when he whispers it into Thor. Although,
if you remember, before that, he was like that, and he could still hold the hammer.
No, yeah, but Mjolnir wasn't not able to be picked up, supposedly.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Version. It's an allegedly, because that was never confirmed in the movie.
That's the power. Yeah,
in the comics.
No, it is in the movie.
Well, really?
Yeah,
I remember him whispering into
that's
it.
That's when he does it. And it glows. Remember, it glowed when he did that, and it had all the writing on it. Oh. That's when he imbued that with Mjolnir with that particular
So before he said
power.
That, do we know that anyone could have picked it up anyway?
We're assumed to say no, because that's when he makes it that way. Because he's sending it to Earth. And he doesn't want anybody just picking it up and using it.
Right.
It's still powerful, but he doesn't want anybody just picking it up and doing it. So he's trying to make Thor worthy, and it's kind of his gauge. If he can pick it up, then he's worthy. So he needs to become worthy to pick up, boom, and that's when he picks it up, just like Vision can pick it up, and just like at the end, Captain America
should have been a Mjolnir that anyone could have picked up. But we see that it isn't, because Captain Marvel was trapped up from underneath it.
Exactly. So now let's go to the opposite end. What if it is something that only somebody worthy can pick up? Clearly, this Thor is not worthy of picking it up.
Clearly, yeah.
He's just a prankster. He's a goof off. He's not worthy of picking up the hammer. So it doesn't really work one way or the other.
He only starts maybe being worthy at the end.
Yeah, when he
of the episode. When he's like, I mean, I guess. But even still, that's why I'm saying starting.
Become worthy for cleaning up the mess you started.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm saying started. Maybe getting better.
So that was a little trickery.
Getting
that
an idea.
A lot of people kind of butted up against. Like, all right, the story was wonderful. It's a lot of fun. As usual, the visuals are incredible. But then you bump up into certain things like that as to why things happen. So,
I wouldn't take the second part too seriously, but the first part, like with the Avengers, like not even one showing up, you're kind of like,
me. I know me well enough to know when you set
nitpicky.
rules.
You're so nitpicky.
I'm wicked nitpicky because I believe in this stuff and I love this stuff. And when you set up a world and you set up rules within the world and then you just blatantly go against them because it helps just to tell a funny story, I butt up against it. It did not make me not love this episode. I absolutely love this episode, and I'll tell you, it's probably one of my favorites.
Oh, same.
You know what I'm saying? But it's still
although
like,
I do get it,
that bumps up against. Like,
I do get it because there is still that. Like, you still need to be able to explain anything. Yeah. Anything. Even like in the Ant-Man zombie one.
Yeah.
Even then, they explained a zombie virus didn't just happen.
Right.
It came from somewhere.
Right. Exactly. So at least you get some explanation on it. Although the head in the jar is still jumping over that one.
We're not talking about that part of it. We're not talking about that part of it.
But
just that one bit.
So this part, it was just that. Like, that was it. To me, everything else was rock solid. His fight with Captain Marvel was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then every once in a while, you would see the like far away shot of like, hey guys, want me to like slide down the like Sydney Opera House? And everyone's like, yeah. And there's the far away shot, and he's like slowly descending, and then just scooped away by Captain Marvel. That was awesome.
She gave him the warning shot. She even gave him a warning punch. I thought that was fantastic.
There's also that one shot with that, like, one of the faraway shots. It panned to that woman in the chair on the beach.
Right.
What was that all about?
Yeah, we both butted up against that because it seemed like a
long
enough shot, but I still can't figure out who that was.
Yeah.
And was it important, right?
Because at first I was like, who's that supposed to be? What's her name? Carter? But then I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. She would have been like 100.
Yeah, because it was shadowed. There was no like real indication of who that was. So that
it was just
weird.
A woman, but I was like, I don't know. It feels like it's not a woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
so that was weird.
I mean, yeah, it's a woman.
So that was weird. What else? So then we get to the ending.
All right.
So Frigga, Jane basically goes to Frigga and says, Thor's on Earth and he's causing a bunch of crap. You need to come and help because he's going to blow up the planet. So she basically tattles on him to his mother, and he calls her out. He's like, you tattled on me. You ratted me out to my mother.
I guess, thanks.
Yeah.
But like...
So Frigga comes down in basically celestial form.
Yeah.
Talks to him, says, knock it off because I'm coming to Earth. It's basically like, don't make me come back there. You know what I mean? Don't make me
turn this around.
Yeah,
this car around.
Or I will come up there. If I have to get off this couch and come up there, you're in trouble.
I love that when he uses his Thor thunder power, everybody listen to me. Like everyone on the Earth, the party people, they look at him like, oh, and he's like, my mother is coming here. We have to clean.
And
then everyone goes, Frigga.
And they're all scared of her.
Everybody is like, Frigga.
That was awesome.
And then they immediately start
Odin's
helping
in the Odin
out.
sleep this whole time, so he's pretty much useless at this point. So it's just Frigga taking care of everything.
All right.
So that was pretty cool. She comes down right as he just finishes, and he's teaching a class.
Yeah,
he's down there teaching a class.
Oh, hello, mother.
He's out there book in hand. They're all sitting in front of a chalkboard, sitting, crisscross
and what do we say?
Right.
It's like learning is magic or something.
Captain Marvel comes with basically an iPad and gives him
some
knowledge.
I got you your files and some podcasts you can listen to.
So then I love the fact that he calls Mjolnir and it's completely decked out. It's it's
with underwear, boxers on it too.
It looks like celebration beads from Mardi Gras. There's all kinds of stuff hanging off of Mjolnir.
And then he's
point.
I can explain.
Which we never really see happen to it. The whole time he's fighting Captain Marvel. That none of that happens.
Although the thing is, he must have left it somewhere because again, he's probably just anyone could do anything with it. So I was like,
because everybody can lift it up. So
look, he left Mjolnir here. Yeah. Hey, I wonder how long it's going to stay here. Let's graffiti it.
Let's deck it out. That was really funny.
That was really good.
So the episode ends. We got basically, that's pretty much it. And Frigga's like, okay, that's fine. Let's get going.
Yep.
And Earth is all put back to normal. And then as basically what looks like Thor's about to leave, bang, entrance is Ultron and his army
with all 6 stones.
Including the Mind Stone in his head.
Yeah, and you're crap. Like, ooh. Even the Guardian, even the dude in the sky was like, all right, and everything was
Yeah,
and
even he's like,
that's when
crap.
I started to look away. I was like, wow, that was such a good episode. And then I hear him saying, oh. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? Oh, you're supposed to be all-knowing, all-wise. And I turned back and I'm like, is that Ultron?
With all 6 stones. So it's Ultimate Ultron is basically what they're calling him.
Ultimate
Ultron. And now, is that the next episode? Because there's 2 more episodes.
I think it's going to be the last episode. It's like, ooh, hint. And then it's going to show up even more in the next episode?
Yeah, maybe we don't get a payoff in the next episode. Or is the last episode basically a 2-parter? Is the finale a 2-parter? Who knows?
I don't want it to be a 2-parter.
I don't want it to be a 2-parter either. Even though it's only a week apart, who can't deal with that?
I think what's going to happen is the next episode, we're going to go into a different world and they're going to pretend that didn't happen. But then near the end or maybe even halfway, they're going to be like, okay, no, this is an actual threat that we're going to have to deal with.
Maybe it's the gathering portion of it.
It could be the gathering portion.
Everybody together.
An introduction of a new, a last person, a new person, as well as a gathering episode. Yes.
So
that would make a lot of sense, and it would save a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly, because the episode is only so long.
For the last episode.
For the last episode, it's pretty much just fighting Ultron, basically solving the problem.
With all these, with Party Thor and Star-Lord,
and
Black Panther.
I guess I don't really understand how that's going to play.
Zombie survived Spider-Man and Ant-Man and head
Thanos
jar.
Zombie Thanos with all his gems.
Oh yeah, and Captain Carter.
Yeah, with the Captain Carter. So that'll be
Doctor Strange, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evil Doctor Strange.
He defeated him. So he was just back to
but he was just in a little case.
Yeah, but he was by the end of it. He was back to being himself. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Still had all that bad in him.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Cool. All right. Excellent. There it is.
Gnarly.
Episode 7. So we
awesome.
liked it.
That was such a good episode.
That
yeah.
was good. One of your favorites?
One of my favorites. My top 3, I'd say.
All right. Cool. Awesome. I love it.
I can't remember how many episodes there have been so
7.
far.
This was number 7.
7? All right. So it's in my top 3, definitely.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Me too. Absolutely. This is definitely vying for my top. So fantastic. All right. There it is, everybody.
All
Episode
right.
7. Go watch it.
So
go
awesome.
see it. Disney Plus.
Definitely
go
worth
stream
it.
It's fantastic. 2 more episodes to go. Of course, we're going to bring you our recap episodes at the end of those.
Of
and then
course.
maybe, at the end of the last one, we'll talk about the last episode plus the entire series all together.
Yeah.
So that bonus will be just a little bit longer. All right. Excellent, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Thank
As always,
you.
if you have any questions or you want to be a guest on the show, hit us up online, entertainmentrants.com. All of our social media is at Entertainment Rants, except for Twitter is Entertain Rants. Drop us a private message. Let us know if there's something you want to rant about or something you want us to rant about. We'd also love to hear reviews of the show. If you find it, something that you want other people to listen to, you think it's worth listening to, drop us a review on Apple Podcast, and we'd really appreciate it, and we'll read it on the show. All right?
Yeah.
Say bye, Mila.
Bye-bye.
All right, we will see you later. Keep ranting, everybody.
Bye-bye.